Today, we are diving deep into a type of home ownership that's popping up all over Uganda and really all over the world, the condominium. So what does it actually mean when you own a piece of a building like this? Let's jump in.
You know, it feels like it should be a simple question, right? You buy an apartment, you own the apartment. But it's actually way more complex and, honestly, a lot more interesting than just that. The answer really gets to the very heart of what makes a condo a condo.
So, let's start with the absolute basics, the big idea. What is a condominium, anyway?
Okay, so check out this definition. It's all about two key parts. See, you don't just own one thing. You actually own two things at the same time. You own your private unit, and you're a co-owner of everything else. This idea of dual ownership, that's the whole ballgame.
I love this way of thinking about it. You own your castle. That's all the space inside your unit's walls, your private little world. But you also co-own the entire kingdom, the land it sits on, the hallways, the roof, everything. It really captures that core idea. You're both a sole owner and a partner, all at once.
So what exactly is this kingdom that you co-own? Well, it's all the stuff you see here. We're talking lobbies, elevators, walkways, pools, even the guts of the building like the main plumbing and electrical systems. Basically, if it's not inside someone's private unit, it's common property. And keeping all that running? Yep, that's what those monthly homeowner dues are for.
Okay, so just when you think you've got it, there's this neat little twist. Some parts of that shared kingdom are actually reserved just for you. Think about a balcony that's attached to your unit, or a specific parking spot with your number on it. Legally, it's still common property, but you have the exclusive right to use it. They call this limited common property. Kind of cool, right?
All right, so we've got the what down. Now let's get into the why, or maybe the should I. Is this lifestyle actually a good fit for you? Because it definitely comes with some very clear pros and cons.
For sure, one of the biggest draws is what you get right outside your front door. Pools, gyms, maybe even security. All these amazing amenities without you personally having to lift a finger to maintain them. Plus, condos are almost always built in prime, central locations, putting you right in the middle of everything.
But, and this is a big but, there's always a flip side. You see that amazing swimming pool? That fancy gym? You're paying for them in your monthly dues, whether you use them every single day or you never set foot in them. It's a package deal. You can't opt out.
Let's talk money, because this is a huge one for a lot of people. Condos are often a much more affordable way to get into the property market compared to buying a standalone house in the same neighborhood. It just opens the door to ownership for a lot more people.
And here's the trade-off you've got to think about. If you ever need to sell, especially in a hurry, a condo might take a bit longer to find a buyer than a house would. It's just something to keep in the back of your mind, because it can affect your flexibility if life throws you a curveball. And finally, there's the social piece of the puzzle. Living closer together means you have to navigate shared rules about, well, everything. We call it the 5 Ps: pets, parking, personality clashes, parties, and just people in general. It definitely helps to have a community-minded spirit. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the legal side of things, the rule book, if you will. Now, don't worry, this isn't nearly as complicated as it sounds.
So, have you ever wondered how one giant building becomes a collection of properties that people can buy individually? Well, it's basically a 3-step legal process. First, the developer registers a master plan that officially maps out every single unit. Then, the original land title for the whole property gets canceled. And finally, like magic, brand new, totally separate titles are issued for each and every unit.
So what's the official lingo for how you and all your neighbors co-own that shared kingdom? The legal term is being tenants in common. The best way to think about it is like this. Everyone owns a slice of the whole pie, the lobby, the land, the roof, and the size of your slice is based on the size of your unit.
All right, this brings us to the big one, the question every owner or buyer wants to know. What is this place actually worth? Valuing a condo is a real skill, and you can't just do it the same way you'd value a standalone house. So professional appraisers have 3 main tools in their toolbox to figure out value. But as you can see here, they are definitely not all created equal when it comes to condos. Let's break down which one is the star player and which one you should probably just avoid altogether.
The absolute gold standard, without a doubt, is the direct comparison approach. You know why?
Because it's based on reality. It just looks at what real buyers were willing to pay for very similar units, ideally in the same building, in the recent past. It's the purest reflection of what the market thinks a place is worth. And then, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have the cost approach. This method tries to figure out value based on what it would cost to rebuild from scratch. For a condo, this just does not work. Listen to this quote from the experts. It says it all. Using this method can be downright misleading. The bottom line? Just avoid it.
All right, so if comparing is the name of the game, what exactly are we comparing? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what actually pushes a specific unit's price tag up or down. Think of it like a checklist. First, you have the big picture market factors. What did similar units just sell for, and how many other condos are for sale right now? Then you zoom in on the property itself. What's its condition? What are the amenities? How high are the fees? And finally, you have those classic drivers: the layout, the view, which floor it's on, and of course, location, location, location.
And when we talk about location, it can be about simple, everyday convenience. For example, being close to a major road or a popular boda stage can make a huge difference in what someone's willing to pay, just because it makes getting around that much easier. And here's another big one, especially for anyone with kids or who's planning to have them. Being located near good, reputable schools, that can often make a property command a much higher price, because for many buyers, that's a top priority.
So after all is said and done, we circle right back to this one idea. A condo isn't just a place to live, it's a shared investment. It's a community. It's a business, really. So the final question you have to ask yourself isn't just, do I like this unit, but rather, am I ready to be a co-owner? Thanks for joining me on